In this video, we are going to make not one, but two champagne cocktails. We're going to make a classic champagne cocktail and the French 77. Welcome to the Average Me channel. I'm Mark, and in this video, we are going to make two champagne cocktails. So, the first thing I want to point out is I'm just using a basic, not a very expensive champagne. But when I started today, I realized I didn't chill the champagne. You can see the label starting to wear off here a little bit, and it was because of my blunder. A way to get champagne chilled really quickly is to put it in a bucket of ice, spin it around, and it'll chill it right down. When I was in college, I used to work as a bellhop at a hotel. And one of the things we would do, we didn't have coolers or big enough coolers in order to keep all the champagne. So champagne were just in cases in the bellhop closet. And when someone ordered champagne to come up to their room, I would drop it in that ice bucket, fill it with ice, and I would spin that around as I was walking down the hallways, riding the elevators. By the time I got to their room, it was nice and cold and ready to serve. So for this first cocktail, classic champagne cocktail, I suppose we could just pour a glass of champagne, but we want to be a little more fancy than that. And when I say a little, we're talking very little. This isn't going to take much. By the way, let's talk a little bit about our champagne glasses. Do we use that tall, skinny flute style glass, or do we use that short, wider saucer style glass? You know, it really has more to do with the style of the times rather than anything to do with the champagne. I suppose champagne experts might argue a little bit, but you'll see through the decades, the style tends to change. We're going to use a flute glass for this video, and you're going to see why in a minute. It's just going to help the appearance a little bit. So for this, we're of course going to use champagne. We're going to use a lemon. We're going to use a sugar cube, and we're going to use some bitters. So we're going to start by taking our sugar cube and we're going to drop it in that tall flute glass. Then we're going to add 5 dashes of bitters. How much is 5 dashes, you might ask? Well, because of the design of the bitters bottle, it literally is, you shake it once, that's a dash. Shake it 5 times, you got 5 dashes. The only thing we have to be careful of here is I'm not dashing it all over the place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So there are our 5 dashes of bitters. And then we want to get just a little bit of that oil from the lemon in here. So what I'm going to do is just get a bit of that lemon peel, and I'm actually going to use a little bit of the lemon juice in the second cocktail, but I'm going to get a couple of pieces of that zest, because for the first one, what I'm going to do is, for the first piece of the lemon, I'm going to just squeeze this in order to get the essence of that oil. Can you guys hear that airplane out there? It's a beautiful day out here in southern Florida, and there's a lot of pilots out that just recreational pilots. And so we're just going to take that lemon and just squeeze it a little bit. And you're not going to see very much come out. It's just to get a little bit, as I said, of the essence of that oil. And then it's going to be time to add our champagne. So let's hope I don't put any lights out with this, right? Oh, come on, Mark. They really wrap the foil up around this. You know, some bottles, that foil is a little easier to come off. But this is just a cheap bottle, so I'm sure when we get under there, it's going to have a metal neck on here anyway. So there's not a... Okay, you missed the fun on that one. When this popped, it literally flew across the room. We actually have, this was probably, I don't know, like $12 bottle of champagne. We actually have about a $250 bottle of Dom Perignon that was given to my wife and I as a housewarming gift. And one of these days, I think we'll open that on camera and taste that. But what we're going to put in is about 4 or 5 ounces. And you don't want to fill that all the way because that's what you want to happen. You want to see that whole bubbling effect. And if you put in too much and you fill out all the way to the top, you're really going to miss out on that. And that happens because, I'm going to put a little more in this, that happens because of that sugar cube. And doesn't that look nice? I don't know how well you can see that, but what's happening now is that sugar cube is really releasing all of those bubbles, and you can see that the bitters deepened the color. And it really is an interesting looking drink. I'm just going to pour a little more in there. And that's about what I would want it to look like. Almost like the head on a glass of beer as that bubbles up. So we're going to get a quick picture of this for our thumbnail, and then we're going to do our taste test. No, we're not, because I forgot to put our garnish in, right? We're going to use our lemon. You can handle the lemon however you want. I like to put a little twist in that and then drop it in. And we really needed that to finish off. I was so caught up in opening that crazy bottle, I forgot about making it look nice. So there is our garnish, that lemon twist. Now we'll take our picture, then we'll come right back. And now my favorite part, where we get to taste this. Happy New Year, everyone. Oh, is that different? As soon as you bring your nose up, you get that essence of the lemon. So make sure that you don't just pull that lemon out. That is essential to the taste of this cocktail. We get the sweetness of that sugar cube. We get that little bit of bitters coming through. This is really good. I would much prefer a drink like this to someone simply pouring me a glass of champagne. That's really good. Well, I'll work on this as I clean up and get ready for drink number 2, the French 77. Next up is the French 77, and for that we are going to use Saint Germain elderflower liqueur. We're going to use some lemon juice, so I'm still going to use the same lemon from our first drink, and of course champagne. And we're going to use a saucer glass for this one, just to show you that these cocktails can be served in any glass, flute glass, the saucer, what did I say? I said cocktail, the saucer champagne glass. And as a matter of fact, if you were to watch those old movies from the 1930s, for example, I really love the Thin Man series. If you've never seen it, rush right out and get it. They are so good. Anyways, Nick and Nora in the Thin Man series will always drink their champagne from these glasses. Why? Because these were the glasses that were popular in the 1930s. So we're going to start with 1 ounce of the Saint Germain, and I'm simply going to measure this out. And I got this little bottle, and boy, this almost kills that bottle. There we go. So we have 1 ounce of that, and then we're going to use only 1/2 tablespoon of the lemon juice. So before I juice this lemon, I'm going to slice the garnish off of this. You can do so much with this garnish. I'll give you an example of something you can do with this garnish in just a second after I get this peeled. Okay, so I'm going to show you something we can do rather than just curl it up and drop it in like I did in the last video. But we're going to get a little bit of juice out of this lemon. And this is going to make a lot more juice than I need, but I'm going to juice half of this. I don't know what that's going to do without the skin, if it's all going to come back at me. We'll find out, won't we? We remove that container. Yeah, no protection. Okay, let's see if this is enough to get our half a tablespoon. I would say that's going to be about right. Oh, that's just perfect. Look at that. And then we are going to put in about 4 ounces of the champagne. Before we do, I'm going to cut this just a little fancy. All right, right now we just have kind of a rough edge on this. So what I'm going to do is straighten out the edges on this lemon peel. And then I'm going to cut one end at an angle and cut the other end at an angle. So this is the shape to it. And when we're done, I'm just going to curl that a little bit and we'll drop that in. And that's going to look nice. So we're going to add about 4 ounces of the champagne. And then we'll just take that fancy lemon. I'm actually going to curl it up and just give it a little pull. And that gives you that little essence of lemon. And ooh, I didn't mean to drop it in there. Don't do this if you're a professional. Well, if you're a professional, you're not watching this channel. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get it right on the edge. And isn't that beautiful? Let's give it a taste. Oh, that is so good. Now this will be a cocktail that will impress. It doesn't look like much. Other than that little lemon garnish that is still floating around there, I'm going to get that to look good. It doesn't matter when they bring it up to their nose and drink it. It's probably going to fall off like it did for me. But when you serve it, you want that beautiful lemon twist to be on the edge. Hey, I'm not a professional. We're doing this in my home for fun, right? But that looks gorgeous. When they drink it, it will probably move and fall into the glass and everything else. But when I bring it up, first of all, just like the first drink we did, you really get that essence of the lemon. Not only are the oils of the lemon in the drink itself from when we twisted that, but you do get that aroma, that fresh, crisp smell of lemon. And it's almost an indescribable flavor because you pick up that Saint Germain, that elderflower from the Saint Germain, but you're certainly getting the champagne as well. I think this is one, it's almost indescribable. You just have to taste it. This is how you should be bringing in the new year. French 77, I can't account for the name. I don't know the history of this cocktail, but I can tell you it is delicious. Now, that lemon peel just dropped in there, and it is starting the bubbling all over again. I don't know what the reaction is, but it's really kind of cool. Yep, this is what we're going to have in my house in 2 days. Well, I want to thank you for joining me, everyone. As always, I encourage you to like and share the videos. Leave your comments down below. If you haven't already, please subscribe by clicking my face in the corner. And don't forget to ring the bell icon up above. That way you'll know when I post new videos. I hope to see you back here for our very first Thirsty Thursday of the year next week. In the meantime, have a Happy New Year. I'm Mark, and this is the Average Me Channel. That is so good.